Hey everyone, this is Scott with Black Mountain Maple. Today I'm going to show you how I restored this Bedrock 605C Type 7. We start just by doing a little disassembly. You can see things in pretty good shape as it is anyway. Move the front knob. Again, everything actually comes apart pretty easily with this one. I would imagine somebody probably actually had done a bit of a cleanup before. See a fair bit of sawdust and just some light surface rust, bit of grime. I generally use a toothbrush just to get all the heavy dirt and everything off. A little bit of dish soap with some water in that toothbrush again, just to get rid of any of the oils or the grease and just build up that's been a little more stubborn that just the dry toothbrush couldn't get. Make sure it's all cleaned off real well. Now we're over to the bench grinder, get that everything all cleaned up. Does a really good job of just getting the surfaces nice and shiny. Gets all of the surface rust off. Any bits of paint or anything like that that's been splattered on them over the years. For any of the smaller pieces, I find these needle nose vice grips work really well. You can get a good grip on it, really get in all the little areas. I'm not trying to flatten this hole or anything here, just trying to make sure things get cleaned up. Now take a small piece of that emery cloth and just kind of go over all the smaller areas and give it a nice finished look. Now I started doing this corrugated sole with the emery cloth and very quickly realized that was taking a lot longer than I would have liked, so I switched over to this very small fine wire wheel for the Dremel tool, which did a very good job of cleaning up all these grooves. Now we're just using a matte black spray paint here just to make the plane look a little more new again. So now while the paint's drying on the body, I'm going to go over and start working on the tote and the knob. I'm actually using an old block plane iron that I've kind of turned into a bit of a scraper, and that heavy steel works pretty well. The finish was just starting to kind of peel and flake a bit on the knob and the tote, So I figured, might as well make it look like the rest of the plane, and you can get it all cleaned up. So here I'm using a bit of that emery cloth again as well, just to try and get through that finish. For the most part, the scraper is the best tool. However, I tried using the scraper on the knob as well, and that just seemed a little more tedious when I can just put it in the drill press and then use a little bit of that emery cloth again, and it cleans up really quickly. It's a little tip that I actually saw on one of Rex Kruger's videos. So here it is after it's sanded down, just going back with the grain afterwards, get rid of any of the marks from the sandpaper. I think I'll move on and use boiled linseed oil as the finish for the knob and the tote. It really goes quite dark on the rosewood that Stanley used for these handles. Now that the paint's dry on the body of the plane, I'm going to come back with another little bit of emery cloth and just clean up a bit of the paint that got in under the blue tape there. And this shot kind of shows how that paint actually looks on the body. That's why I like it being like the matte paint. Here just coming in with using a marking knife actually, but just a flat surface just to clean the paint off of just the tops of the lettering. But it just stands out a little bit more. It gives it just a nice look that I like. The same for just the numbering and the patent dates on the back. Now we're ready to start reassembly. Always make sure I put a little bit of 3-in-1 oil on any of the bolt holes or screw holes just to help any other time that it's going to be coming apart. Here with this style is one of the things that's unique to the Bedrock is how the frog is actually mated to the body. It uses a couple pins going down through that then the bolts in the back will actually drive into the holes in those pins to really pull the frog down to make sure it's seated. Getting everything all cleaned up, wiping the oil off, and you see how dark the knob and the tote actually are with that boiled linseed oil and the rosewood. Now put the iron and the lever cap back together. The two are actually mated up pretty well, so I didn't need to make any adjustments with those. We'll move into flattening, because you really need to make sure that the iron, all the parts are in place when you actually do the flattening. A bit of a time lapse here. This actually took a fair bit of time. Then we'll move on to sharpening the iron. Here there's actually a pretty nice primary bevel, so I'm just really doing a little bit of polishing on the back and a little honing for the most part, so I'm just going straight to my 1000 grit stone. Using the Charlesworth ruler trick that I actually picked up from Rob Cosman. And then going on to the secondary bevel. I currently only have up to a 1000 grit stone, but I found just moving to the strop afterwards is more than a sharp enough edge. We'll get everything put back together and give it a try. This is a piece of white oak. It's quarter sawn white oak, but running on the edge here with a fairly rough sawn. Now that the surface is starting to get a little cleaned up, we're going to do a few slower passes here with the plane just so we can get a good look at what the shavings are doing. Now feel free to post your thoughts down below, whether or not I went too far with this bedrock restoration or what you would have done differently. And don't forget to like and subscribe.